My name is Deus. Yes, I welcome you to Korongo Equator Line Point, right in Queen Elizabeth National Park. So where are you from?
From England.
England. Welcome you to Uganda, the Pearl of Africa.
Thank you.
So at the equator, basically, we demonstrate to you a force called the Coriolis effect that comes because of the Earth's rotation. So Coriolis was a Frenchman who discovered this, and he said objects attached to the Earth's surface, like hurricanes, giant storms, when they are spinning, they spin anti-clockwise in the northern hemisphere. But right here, the water is not attached to the Earth's surface, so this water is going to spin clockwise in the northern hemisphere. So let the vortex form and we see how the water spins right here. Right there, you notice the leaf turning clockwise.
Yes.
This tells you are standing in the northern hemisphere. So still, this is not the only experiment that shows to you the Earth rotates. In another, they use the Foucault pendulum, named after Frenchman Foucault. Also when released, it turns clockwise in the north and anti-clockwise in the south. But for the Foucault pendulum, it takes 24 hours, that's a full day, to make a complete revolution. You find it around serious science universities and museums around the world. So we named this bowel North Star because it's a navigation tool for the northern hemisphere. This polar star can be seen anywhere in the north, but beyond Tropic of Capricorn in the south, it can be seen. So we're going to cross the southern hemisphere and we check out the difference.
So we are in Korongo equator line, and here the equator separates the northern and southern hemisphere. We've just done an experiment in the northern hemisphere, and now we are crossing over to the northern hemisphere. I will come back to the equator line at some point. Thank you.
So right here, I welcome you to the land of the Southern Cross. So the Southern Cross is a constellation, and the constellation is a group of stars making a definite shape. I use this to stabilize the water. So this Southern Cross is evident in Southern Hemisphere countries like Australia and New Zealand. They have it in their national flags to show that they're Southern Hemisphere countries. So the vortex is going to form right here, and we see how the water spins in the Southern Hemisphere. So right there, you notice the leaf has changed direction and is turning anti-clockwise. This tells you have crossed from the Northern Hemisphere to the Southern Hemisphere, where objects are deflected to the left, hence they turn anti-clockwise. Still, the Coriolis effect applies in aeroplanes, bullets, rockets. Aeroplanes in the north, they veer to the right, in the south to the left. It's called the jet stream. Likewise, you shoot a bullet long range, it will sway right to the north, left to south. It's called the spin drift. For you to hit your target, snipers tell us you need to know which hemisphere you're in so that you can make a proper trajectory. Even rockets and missiles are launched closer to the equator because at the equator they go straight and faster. That's why some countries like the US has launch stations in Texas and Florida, and for Europe it uses French Guiana in South America because it's closer to the equator. So we are going to end at the center of the world, the equator, and we see what happens right there.
The guy is learning.
Yes, we are learning.
I mean Eric.
Now we are at the equator line. As you can see, the ground is marked by the yellow, strong yellow line that goes straight to the equator monument over there. We are at the Korongo equator line point, and that's where we're doing this experimentation on the different what happens when we move from one hemisphere to another.
So you're welcome to the center of the world, the equator. The line was first discovered by the Frenchmen in Ecuador 1700 years ago. Ecuador is a Spanish word for equator. Therefore, their country is equator. It continues to Colombia and Brazil, that is in South America. In Africa, Sao Tome and Principe, Gabon, Congo Brazzaville, DRC Congo, Uganda, Kenya and Somalia. Asia, Maldives, Kiribati, Singapore, Indonesia and Malaysia. In total, it crosses 15 countries around the world. The circumference is 40,077 kilometers. You stand at the line on 21st March or 23rd September, noontime every year. You can never see your shadow. The sun is directly overhead the equator on those 2 days, and we call them equinox days. Still at the line, you weigh lighter, 1 kg of your weight. Centrifugal forces make you lighter at the equator because we are far away from the center of gravity than the poles. So the reason the leaf goes down the drain at the equator without spinning is the same reason the hurricanes, the cyclones, the tornadoes, they never cross the equator. They are deflected to the right in the north, left in the south, in the middle a bulge is created. Hurricanes only hit countries near the poles where spinning is created. So it's a good idea you stay in Uganda. We can never be hit from hurricanes, so we are safe here. So thank you.
That is beautiful. Thanks so much for explanation about the equator line in Uganda and what happens when you cross from the northern hemisphere to the southern hemisphere. A quick question, which one is cold and which one is warmer? Is it the northern or the southern hemisphere?
Southern is a bit colder. This is warmer.
Okay. And what causes the variation in the temperatures then? What causes the change?
The change. Now, like we are seated at the bottom of Mount Rwenzori right there.
Yes.
Kasese is hotter than Fort Portal because Fort Portal is on the windward side, here we're on the leeward side. But when you go to the southern, it's more because of the vegetation there. That's why Mbarara receives a variety of rainfall than they do here in Kasese. We are crossed by the equator where the sun is directly hitting the ground. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Do you have any questions here? No, thanks so much, and it's been great. Thanks for the explanation. Just a moment. So this marks the end of our explanation about the equator. Again, I'm showing you the equator line here. I'm walking through the equator line. I just wait for that motorbike to go over, and then we'll go down to show you the equator line here in Kikorongo, in Uganda, in Queen Elizabeth National Park. And as you see, this is the Equator Monument here at Kikorongo in Uganda that I'm taking you towards to see. It's quite hot here, and as you see, this is the monument, and to the back of the monument we have a similar structure replicated of this monument over here. You can see over there, yes. And as I did say previously, we are in Queen Elizabeth National Park in Uganda at Kikorongo equator line. The S here symbolizes the southern hemisphere, and this is the name of the crossing, Kikorongo equator line. I'm just crossing over from the southern hemisphere to the northern hemisphere in Queen Elizabeth National Park over here, and very lovely vegetation in this place all around. I'll just show you a bit of this vegetation, and then we'll show you again also the location of this place. Yes, this vegetation at the back, very green, very savanna, and very beautiful landscape with hills. And we have the mountain ranges, the Rwenzori ranges in the back of this equator line over there. And this is Queen Elizabeth National Park, and over there you can read, it says Queen Elizabeth National Park, the equator, powered by Tusker. And over there again there's another signpost to show us where we are, which is Queen Elizabeth National Park in Uganda. So this road, if you continue that way, you end up in Bushenyi, Mbarara, towards Rwanda, and on this side you'll end up with going to Kasese, Fort Portal, and across a branch off to as well to the Democratic Republic of Congo. This is Queen Elizabeth National Park. We've just taken this video for you in Uganda. Thank you for watching.